Hey, it's an exciting day. I'm out in front of our house. We supposedly today, this afternoon at 6 p.m., the president, the mayor, is going to come and do the inauguration of this street. So it's been kind of a busy last couple of days of activity here. If you recall, about a month ago, I did a video, and the previous 4 months or so, really nothing had happened between December, maybe early January, and late April, early May. Really not much had happened on this street. But right after I finished that video, they did finish that road at the end of the street. About 3 weeks ago, they painted the curbs. They painted them all yellow. And then last couple weeks there hadn't been a lot going on. But 6 days ago, we got a notice for the neighborhood that said today at 6 p.m., the mayor was going to come for the inauguration. Okay, so this has happened a few times. We got these in November and December, and we got excited thinking, wow, they're going to really get after it. That was when things were a total wreck on the street. But you never know. Maybe things are really going to start moving and they're going to get this thing finished and be done with. And also at that time we thought maybe we were going to be able to save our garage, and you know how that turned out. So anyway, so this one, for the few days after they made the announcement, nothing really happened. Then 4 days ago, all of a sudden, Telmex was out here, and a bunch of people with the city were out here, and they were working on the street, and they started screwing with the cables, and it looked like maybe something was going to happen. They did end up cutting our internet, so we haven't had internet for the last 3 days. We're hopeful that, that in the next 7 hours before this thing starts, that they turn it back on. They haven't cut our electricity yet, but who knows? The communication hasn't been super great the last 10 months. When anything happens, I actually did ask them when Telmex was out here. I was like, are you going to cut our service? He goes, yeah, we're going to cut it, but it'll only be out for 2 hours. The funny thing is, Telmex had told one of the neighbors that they wouldn't have had to cut anybody's service, but since they were only given 4 days notice to complete the project, then they were kind of in a bind to get it completed. So that's why they cut everyone's service. Also, we have some furniture inside that we want to get rid of, and we're going to give it to some of the other workers. And I had talked about that, and she's like, let's give them the furniture. That's all right. And I was like, let's make sure that everything goes smooth before we start offering them stuff. So, and then it turned out we haven't had internet for 3 days, and who knows when it'll get turned back on. But at least it's the entire neighborhood, it seems like, doesn't have their internet. So they've been out, they've been washing the street. They 2 days ago they installed the lamps on all the posts, because for the last, again, whatever it's been, 4 or 5 months, we've just had these lamp posts here but no lamps. So they've installed those, and again, like right behind me, I'm really trying to keep an eye on what's going on, because if they start screwing with our electricity, I want to make sure a couple of things. I want to kind of make sure when they turn it off, they give me some sort of idea of how long it's going to be off for. And the second thing is, we are 220, we're not 110. And I know when we installed it, it was very important that the cables that they use are strong enough to hold that current. So I just want to make sure that they don't install something that's not going to make our electricity work correctly. It's not something I know a lot about, so I just keep bringing it up to them, and they're acting like it's not a big deal. So hopefully it all works out. But again, it's really exciting, and our fingers are crossed that everything goes smoothly. The rest of the day, we get internet and electricity when this thing starts, and we can all be happy that this last 10 months of construction and issues and everything is done, and we can move forward. All right. They just jackhammered the where the tube was coming up, right? Let's see if I can get my thumb in the right spot. Right there, it was coming up here. So they just jackhammered so the tube will actually come up even with the meter. They told me that it's only going to be a second. They're going to cut the power and reconnect it. Again, they said they know that it's 220, so shouldn't be any problems there. Right behind me, they're removing the electrical post from the ground. So things are moving forward. They've got about less than 5 hours to finish this before the big inauguration. Down the street where they had already removed a few of the posts, they filled in the pavement, the street concrete. There's tire marks that go through the pavement. There's some dog footprints. There's somebody has some work boots. Probably the person that did it walked right across it right afterwards. So no wet cement sign or anything like that. You know, I mean, who would want to do that and have it actually look really nice? But 20 feet away from there, where they painted the curb, somebody spilled a bucket of yellow paint. So I don't know if they're going to get to that or not, but we're right at the finish line. We got to get things done. So these are just minor details. For me, all I care about, I just want to have electricity, and I love for the internet to be connected again. Keep you informed. 6:15, walking down to the celebration now. They turned our power off about 3 hours ago, so I think the entire street doesn't have electricity right now. Found out that it's going to be days and days before we get the internet connected, but one of the neighbors has. He knows someone, so he called him up with Telmex, offered to pay him some money to come out tomorrow to connect us. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that can happen tomorrow. So we'll see. Well, let's see what goes on with this celebration here.
Buenas tardes, vecinas, vecinos de aquí de la colonia La Madera. De verdad que hoy, 30 de mayo, es un día muy especial para la colonia. Hoy es un día en el que estamos cumpliendo un compromiso más de esto que ha hecho la Dirección de Obras Públicas, la Dirección de Servicios Públicos con el Departamento de Alumbrado Público y por supuesto del trabajo del ingeniero Javier Galeana, porque estamos entregando una obra de calidad.
1, 2, 3.
Almost 8 o'clock. You can see the guys behind me, right there. There still isn't any electricity down here. It was a good party, a big celebration with the president, Jorge Sanchez. I mean, I don't see how anyone cannot like him. I mean, he's a very likable person. I listen to him talk, and you know, you feel his passion for the city and for wanting to do good. And he talked a lot about, you know, they fulfilled their commitment to the residents, the people that live here on La Madera, and how, you know, they have now made this a great place for national visitors and foreign visitors, and how he's making Zihuatanejo a world-class destination. I just wish that somebody would ask, when are you going to turn the electricity on? Why haven't we had internet for the last 3 days? You know, why? Was there some communication issues somewhere that have been broken down between the government and these service companies? Why did it take 10 months to get to this point? Why wasn't anything done for like 4.5 months? And it is a nice place for visitors, but what about the visitors that were here last August through December when it was a war zone here? We didn't really do much to help them out, make it a safe place. So anyways, but other than that, I mean, it was really nice. People had a great time, a lot of clapping. It looks a lot better. I mean, I will say, I mean, without having all these electrical lines, it looks so much better. We just want the electricity, so hopefully that'll get taken care of tonight. At our place, we don't have water when we don't have electricity, so. Okay, I'm at the condo right now because we still don't have Wi-Fi, and I wanted to finish up this video and put it out there for anyone who's interested. I'll try to talk above. There's a party going on at the pier, so I'll try to talk above the band. This is Thursday evening now. I just talked to Telmex, and they said that they're going to try to finish everybody's internet tomorrow, so we'll see. On Tuesday, we helped the guys actually when they were disconnecting and reconnecting our lines. We're really just disconnecting because I was concerned because of our electric fence, and they were dropping lines on it. I wanted to be a little more careful, so I went up and helped. When we had to cut our lines from the house, I went up and actually did those. It made me feel like I was part of the team for a minute. But anyway, so that night They were those guys. I mean, I will say CFE. I mean, I think CFE and Telmex, they were put in a bad situation. The government didn't communicate what was going on with them when this project needed to be finished, and those guys were out there till 11 o'clock at night. We were exhausted because all day Tuesday we were kind of out making sure that if anything was going to happen that involved our property, that we were on site and available to assist. They finally got our electrical working. There's a few sparks. Someone was nice enough to drop off some beers for them while they worked, and since then everything's worked really well. It doesn't look like it's finalized. I hope that maybe it'll come back out in the next couple weeks and really connect everything, because there's still like just between the meters and where it drops into the ground, there's cables that you could grab, cut, or do whatever you want. It's just not as clean as it should look. And where they jackhammered into our cement, that's still there. So if that doesn't get taken care of in the next week or two, we'll just fill it in ourselves. Telmex, I went out there yesterday just to the office to talk to them, and she made some calls. It was kind of funny because I'm in there and there's just nobody's. It's kind of like they're just time's just ticking, you know. I look over at the one woman, she's on Facebook just scrolling the whole time I'm in there. So I turn around and I take a photo of her. But anyway, she made some calls and she's like, okay, they said they're gonna start working on it today, so you'll have internet today or tomorrow. I didn't see anybody out there yesterday, but today there were a bunch of trucks out there working, and I waited until 6 o'clock. I could tell they were putting their stuff away, and he said, we're going to try to get you taken care of tomorrow. So keep our fingers crossed again. Our fingers are always crossed that things work out. They generally do, just there's a little stress involved. You know, that's how it is here. So it's all good. We're thankful again that this project is over. There's definitely in the neighborhood, there are the people that it's, you know, they're just either they like just drink the Kool-Aid, and you know, anything that happens is fine. They don't care if there's no electricity, no internet, they don't have access to the street. They're like, the government's paying attention to us. We're happy with that. And there's other people that are even more outspoken than I am. I'm a foreigner, so I do try to bite my tongue a little bit. But there's other people that are more like, hey, you know, this isn't right. They need to, you know, they need to take care of these things. They're leaving us hanging. It's been a long time. So, but at the end of the day, thanks to whoever got this thing across the finish line, we're happy. And, you know, I think from here it's all downhill as far as, you know, it's just tying up some things. So anyways, it's awesome that it's something that's not hanging over us as we move through the summer and into high season. Look forward to seeing everybody down here in the fall. And all right, thanks. If there's another update, I'll be sure to share it. Take care.